So today we're headed into Lincoln, and I'm hoping to pick up a full set of pop-out windows. Not only windows for the back doors, but I found the correct set for the passenger doors over there. And this spot also had a very, very mint bumper, rear bumper. Mine does have a ding in it, but the homie Travis's bumper is way worse. His van was rear-ended just shortly before he bought it. So the goal is to get that one and just hold on to it and give it to him next time I see him. This isn't one of the yards where you can pull your own parts. I was really hoping it was, so that I could film some of that and so that I knew exactly how these things came off, but it is not. So I'm on my way to pick them up. Hopefully they're all in good shape. And the story about the van that they're coming off of is also pretty cool. So we'll talk about that a little bit later if I remember. But yeah, fingers crossed everything works out all right. And if everything looks decent, we'll go ahead and try to toss them on. And I think they're all tinted also, which will be nice. Hopefully the tint isn't too trash. But yeah, stay tuned guys. We'll see how this one turns out. All right guys, here we are. Larry's Auto Recyclers. Perfectly straight, clean bumper for Travis's van. Needs a little spit shine. It's dirty, but that's no big deal. And then here we've got all of our windows. So those are the back windows. Both of them are there with the hinges and the seals. And then here are the side windows. And the little side window is under there. We've got the seals for all that. We've got all the nuts and bolts. So I'm gonna get this loaded up quick, and then we'll walk over and we'll take a look at the old van that these parts came off of. Yeah, hopefully I've got enough room for all this stuff without breaking anything here. Maybe I should have unloaded some of this stuff. I know I'm being super professional at filming all of this for you guys. I think this is just gonna have to maybe ride like that for today. And I've got a bunch of moving blankets here for the windows. Just hope this doesn't fall on it. I suppose I can hold on to it if I need to. So excited for these. Seals. Just lay on there. They separated the seals and everything out for me, which was nice. I don't have too much concern that these are going to break or anything. So excited. We will just leave that like so. As long as this bumper doesn't roll on top of them, we're good. Look at all that. All right, all loaded up. Here, if you guys are looking for parts, there you go. If you can see that van over there, that's it. It is impeccably clean, and there's a funny reason for it. So let's get a little closer before we get into detail. All right, here we are. It's got some ugly wheels on it, but as you guys can see, this van is incredibly clean. They pulled the windows out for me. Obviously, there's what we need to do. I don't know if I'll have these holes on the outside, but I'm gonna take some pictures of all of this. Here's what's sitting inside of it. There isn't a lot left, but look at this. There's no rust in it at all. Lights are minty. Somebody took the driver's door. There's a little bit left up here. Ooh, a gauge cluster. Look at that. There it is. That's why I wanted to show you guys. 122 miles on this van. Ooh, minty dashboard piece. This is the whole dash. Ooh, I bet that whole dash is minty. Okay. So I guess the story on this van is it's got 122 miles on it. There's a local college here called Southeast Community College. And what that college would do is sometimes they would get vehicles like this directly from manufacturers with no title on them, and then they would use the vans, or what they would use these vehicles for their body shop class. This was a body shop van. Kids got to learn with this thing. So that's why there's basically no miles on it. It wasn't legal for road use, but it was something that the kids could use. I remember a story from not too terribly long ago that the same college had one of the early Dodge Vipers before the Dodge Vipers were released to the public, and it was the same way. It was really cool to see, but they couldn't drive it on public roads. And it's the same thing with this van. I almost want to buy this cluster just because it's only got 122 miles on it. And it looks like it's in fairly good condition on the back. There's no stickers on here. I'm 99% sure this is a 95. He said it's either like a 93 or a 95, but it's immaculate. Does that sticker say it? 125-inch wheelbase. Yep, 95 right there on the sticker. Like, it's dirty, but it would all clean up. Like, I might come back and get these emblems. This had power mirrors, or maybe heated mirrors. Yeah, it had power mirrors. Mine didn't have power mirrors. I wish it was a little bit older. The older ones had a chrome button on the door. This one does not. Obviously doesn't have the seat swivels, or I would have picked those up. But it is also nice to see everything with the dashboard taken out. Yeah, not a ton of parts left. But if you needed them, there's some good stuff in here. Kind of want to see what this dashboard looks like. It's a little crusty, but it's not cracked. But the instrument cluster here is good. A little bit of scratching, that's not bad. Oop, look at this, boys. Owner's manual, and here's the SCC paperwork. Look at that. So they had it as late as 2016. And here's the manual for it. It's beat up and waterlogged, but it's still here if you needed one. I've got a clean one. And there's not much use for me of anything in here right now. I'm trying to think if there's anything I really want or need. I kind of want that instrument cluster, but I don't know. Well, at least I know this is here for the time being. There's your panels without anything on them. So it had power windows, had power locks. It was a pretty decently optioned van. But gosh, do I buy this? Do I waste my money on this damn instrument cluster? I guarantee you this thing is gonna work. I don't know. All right, I better just go back to my van before I spend any more money here. Let's go get these windows installed. All right, y'all, welcome back. It's actually the next day. I got home last night, I unloaded everything, and I stopped myself from immediately trying to do this, mostly because I wanted to have the video out yesterday, and to be honest, I just didn't want to rush through the project. So we've got all of the windows stacked up here. I'm going to start on the back side. This is one of the side windows. We'll just get it off of here because the other windows underneath, it looks mirrored, but when you actually hold it up, it's not. One of the cool things is that I thought this was tint, but this is actually smoked glass, sort of like factory tinted glass. It says right here, maybe it doesn't say on the side windows, but it says it on the large one. But yeah, I don't believe that's, unless this perimeter was removed, which it's metal and it can be removed. We've got all our stuff here. I guess before before we start taking the other window out, we'll kind of go over this little hinge. So this is the small one. The other ones have 4 screw holes, they're larger, but it's got this little seal on the back that's all beat up. So I'm going to be peeling that off of all of them. And then I've just got some double-sided tape here. We'll be using that. I have a feeling that's kind of what this was. It's just a thin gasket material, so that will work good for that. The windows, I should just be able to pop them out. Fingers crossed it all goes well. But we'll just get started on the back side. Here are all the screws for the top side of the hinges. They're all, I think, T25 bits. So it's nice that I got all of those. And then here are for the bottom hinges. And we're just going to drill some pilot holes and drill them in there. So the actual doors, I kind of feel like I should have just bought the doors, but it's alright. The actual pop-out glass doors had a little reinforcement. They were made slightly differently, but this is a completely common swap out to do, and they work fine. You're not supporting a ton of weight, so you're just screwing into the metal. And considering it's not a brand new tin can, the metal on that thing is actually pretty thick. But we'll get all the windows installed. I'll probably only show you guys doing one, just because it's going to be, you don't need to see me do 4 of them, I guess. We'll get them cleaned off and we'll see how they work. So let's get after it. All right, so this is the passenger side rear door. I still don't know what these clips are for. If somebody can tell me what those were, let me know. It shouldn't interfere with anything since it's on the inside. But as far as getting the window out, it's just like a rubber seal and it just pops in and out. So once you start working around this, it should just pop out. I've got a couple of little flathead screwdrivers, and I've actually got a little trim tool. I wish all of these were plastic, but they're not. So I'm going to put a little bit of tape over the ends of them, just so I don't scratch anything, and hopefully I don't break anything. I don't want to break this glass, you know. That should be good enough. We just need to kind of work this around and out. Set you guys back a little farther so I can walk around this thing. Of course it's warm. I waited till later in the day to do this. I should have gotten started on this right away in the morning. So I'll just kind of stick that one in there. Do the same thing with this one. Should probably have safety glasses on in case I do end up breaking this. But there we go. About to come out. And there you have it. Completely removed, gasket still installed. Here we go. How's our door look? Really clean. That's from the duct tape, from the tape on those things. It's pretty clean. I'll probably wipe this off quick, and we'll drill our stuff in. Alright, I got this all wiped down. Looks alright. A little bit left up there, but it's fine. Grab the other window. We've got our bits and drill bits and whatnot. We've grabbed enough hardware to do the one. Let's go ahead and pull this hinge off of here and get that goop off of it. So the hinge, on the top, if you're going to do this, make sure you get them with the hinge if you don't have it. Otherwise you're not going to be able to put it on, but it just kind of pops off. It's kind of like a piano style hinge, but it just captures that other piece in there. And hopefully we can get this all off fairly cleanly. This one really isn't in bad shape, but it wouldn't be bad to have sticky on both sides, I don't feel like. Just sprayed a big wasp nest that's growing under my trailer, so that's cool. So you see me get attacked. It's like started a turf war. There we go. And then this will just so we close the door here. We'll kind of center it as best we can, measure it out, etc. There's a wasp right there. I'll probably put the window back on and kind of set it up in here. But there isn't much, like, you just got to get it centered. Center it in and drill her home. This is, of course, is way too wide, but we'll just cut the outside of it off. Could probably use it for 2 pieces that way. And this will give you a good seal, you know. And since it covers up the holes, it'll also seal the holes up pretty well. And as far as the window seal goes, we'll install the hinge and everything before we put the seal in, because the seal would push the hinge out. You want the hinge as far back as possible. I'm going in right there. Got a center punch. We should be able to center punch all these holes. Moment of truth here, boys. Moment of truth. I'm going to start out with probably the smallest drill bit I can get away with. I don't know. If I feel like it's too tight and I need to go bigger, I can, but I can't go smaller, you know? In a perfect world, you'd use something like rib nuts, but I also think the rib nuts might push there's usually a lip on them, so it's going to push that hinge down. Mean to go through that fast. We'll stick this on there and just go with it. I mean, there's no going back at this point. I could still reinstall my old window, you know. Check that out. It's the first time I've seen the new Amazon electric rig. Sound like a spaceship coming around the corner. I am going to use my impact, but we'll go slow, you know. Amazon lady might have something for me. There we go, our window. It's installed. Then we've got the little handle here. I don't know if you guys can see it. It'd be easier to just take the window back off, I guess. Make sure you put it on the right way, dummy. We might end up having to replace the seals, which you can buy, so that's not a big deal. These are a little small. We'll probably go do that, but that gives me that. It goes over the back end there, right here, and then now I know where that space is for me to get that other piece of the handle bolted down, because if you put it directly up against the frame over here, then you can't get your seal on. So let's try to put this window back on again. Oh, I gotta leave this down there with the window on, dummy. All right. Get our inside figured out here, where it needs to be at to get that good pull. And these handles are kind of neat. If you're got a broken handle and you want to replace one, they just spin to the side and pop right off. I don't want to lose my little spring stuff in there, but yeah, they just come right off. But I might replace the little spring clips that are inside of this thing, you know? Alright, I kind of learned my lesson with the first bolts. I'm going to drill a bigger pilot hole for these, that's for sure. So on these, you can if you were to remove the door panel and your arm was skinny enough, you get to the bottom of these things. Some guys will replace these with nuts and bolts, because since you're just screwing in this thin sheet metal here, these do have a tendency to loosen up over time, so I've heard from the internets. So keep that in mind. There's access panels behind these door frames I gotta get a bit. All right. 10 millimeter. truth, I guess. There we go. It's tinted. It's hard to tell the tint with, oh, knocked over my water. It's kind of hard to tell that it's tinted, honestly. But it is. Once I get the other ones on there, we might end up putting more tint on that, but we'll see. But yeah, it also makes the window area look a little bit smaller, so we'll need to regularly actually detail it to get the rest of this from the old weather seal off of there. But so you can see how much airflow you get. Bam, look at that. Well, I'm gonna get the other ones knocked out and then I'll get back to you guys. You don't need to see me go through all that again, and we'll see what they all look like when we're done. All right, guys, we are done. Got got both windows done on the back, and I have both windows done on the side. Yeah, solid tempered coated gray flow light. I'll say gray. I think the back ones say it too. Gray. So these are tinted. I guess I don't know how easy it is to tell. You can tell from the inside. I got them cleaned off and they are looking mint. So everything went all right. The only thing that I noticed that was wrong is, I don't know if I'll be able to even show you guys. I'll have to do it from the outside maybe. That one's a little tight. They all need a little grease or something. So there's a clip right here. And that is, so when you pull it in, it clips off the bottom of this and like kind of locks it, so to speak. This one's pretty tight. This one, if you can see, it's missing that little clip, but it's fine. When you close it, like, it still latches down. It's not gonna pop open by any means. You can't come over here and like open the window up or anything. But these are a little bit like pitted and kind of gross looking. So we might go through and try to like clean these up a little bit at some point in the future. Back ones are the same way. So now we have a whole lot more air circulation. The problem is, obviously there's no screen in here. I'm confident I could make something that either pops in from the inside that's a little bit more permanent, or I can do the same thing that I did with those curtains in a magnet and just buy a piece of screen material and we can just magnet those up for the time being. I don't know how well that'll work, but it'll work better than nothing. And yeah, if anybody knows what these guys are for, let me know. They're plastic, they're not in the way, but yeah. And then this lower window has a little bit of flaking on the metal trim, so we'll probably try to take care of that. I was incredibly lucky finding these, especially the ones that go on the side, because a lot of them, I guess depending on what your trim level was on your van, sometimes these outsides are chrome along with these buttons. But I always thought it looked funny on the conversion vans, because the conversion vans typically always have these windows and those are always framed in black, so they match, you know. But I'm stoked on that, guys. And I think on that note, because it's incredibly hot and I want to edit this video and try to get it out to you today. It is Tuesday. Is today Tuesday? Yeah, it's Tuesday. I've only got a couple hours to do that, so I'm gonna go ahead and close this one out here. Definitely check your local junkyards. If you look up a set of rear pop-out glass on eBay, I think the cheapest one I saw yesterday was $245 for just the two back windows, but on average they're like $300 to $400. I got all four windows, all the trim, all the hardware, and a rear bumper for $195. And the rear bumper is going to Travis, so he owes me $50 for that. So always check the junkyard, especially if you're cool enough to be driving something old like this, to look for parts, you know what I mean? You might find a good deal. But yeah, we're gonna head out camping on the next one, so stay tuned for the next adventure. I'll see you in a bit.